Hi creative friends, this is Saraya and thank you so much for being here. So I have made a couple of videos on working on cheap line composition notebook for my backgrounds, but I don't think I've made a video where I, bring something into fruition. So basically I started working on this and then I was like, you know what, I think this is worthy of making a video. And if you go under my playlist section in the backgrounds file, you will see that I do have one or two videos on how to create backgrounds on cheap line composition notebook paper, and I haven't updated that playlist section, you guys, for I want to say like 6 months, so I'm really sorry. I will get around to doing it, but that being said, there are still a lot of videos that are kind of in their files. I just started making, like, there's so many videos, there would be so many playlists, okay? So anyways, you guys, I think I am going to dive into this, and what I'll just explain what I did. Basically, I think, I had some extra paint on my brush, so I just made a stencil, and over here, after the stencil marks dried, I just put like a very loose watery wash over top of it, and then I just let it dry. Probably about, I don't know, 6 months ago or so, maybe a year ago, I don't remember. But I did not use this cheap line composition notebook paper until I took a class with a lady named Amanda Grace, and I think her class was named Raw, and for the whole entire class we could only use this cheap line composition notebook. So one of the main reasons to work on paper like this, which I did not know until I took her class, and she is so right, and it was so true, is that just say you buy like really expensive paper. So just say you buy Arches watercolor paper. Well, the fibers of the paper are so absorbent that whatever you put on top of it, it's going to sink into the page, and then it's going to reflect back at you, right? And you want it for certain types of paints, you want that kind of effect. That being said, for mixed media, a lot of times when you use a paper like this, or even Bristol paper, the paint does not sink into the page. This is like super, super cheap, okay? You can probably buy this like for, I don't know, $1.25, whatever, and you've got tons of pages. But it does not sink into the fibers of the paper, but it sits on top of the page, and then you allow it to completely dry. And what that does is it gives you a sense of immediacy. It gives you a sense of unfinishedness, of rawness. It gives you a certain feeling, a texture. It makes the colors just pop, right? Because the paints they haven't sunk into the fibers of the paper, they're sitting on top. So I'm just gonna bring this up closer, like, even though you can't, like, a lot of it is covered up with painter's tape, but can you see what I mean? Like the paints don't sink into the page. And it's the same with Bristol paper as well. Bristol paper, if you run your fingers on top of Bristol paper, it's like very smooth. Like, just go to the art store and look at different types of paper. Like, run your fingers over watercolor paper, cheap watercolor paper, expensive watercolor paper, over Bristol paper, over, all different sorts of papers, drawing paper, pastel paper, and you're gonna see that different papers do react differently to different media. They have different functions, purposes, effects, okay? Now, another good thing about working in a book like this is it's super cheap. So you're not really going to worry about messing it up. Like, if you're going to spend $10 for a sheet of Arches watercolor paper, there is kind of some anxiety about, oh my God, like, I don't want to mess it up, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do the wrong thing. I don't want to, especially with classical watercolor, because everything is pre-planned. And then another great thing about working in a book like this is that you can write in it. It's got lines in it. It's made for writing, really. So I have used these for my morning pages, for my journaling, for all sorts of different things. And then you can use that writing of yours and incorporate it into your art, which is just like adding another layer, right? Another like it's adding your marks, your stories, your this, your that, whatever. And it's now you're not faced with the blank white page, right? And you can cover up parts of it, and then you can allow parts of it to show if you don't want people to like read your writing, like whatever you've written in there. So I love working on cheap line composition notebook paper, you guys. It's like, it's so amazing. So anyways, what I did here is I just took my Stabilo pencil. I just quickly, you know, did a sketch. I put my painter's tape down because I'm really kind of like, I have a note on my window here, like use painter's tape, right? To cover up the parts I want to retain. And now I'm just going to kind of work over top of it, right? So, where I am right now, you guys, is I am working towards more of a like I'm trying to get more abstract, and I think it's just because I'm really diving into the work of Jung and Dr. Clarissa Pinkola Estes, the collective unconscious, signs, symbols, memories, dreams, reflections, etc. And I'm really getting interested in Indian tribal art. I'm taking a class with Connie Solera. Actually, I've mentioned this, but I actually, I took the class like 3 or 4 years ago, and I just didn't complete it. It's a Painting the Feminine class, and I just recently discovered like, oh, I have all these lessons that I haven't watched yet. So I'm taking that class. I'm going back to square one. I'm redoing all the lessons, and I'm just like, you know, combining a lot of different things, really being inspired by nature, by the colors of nature, by the forms of nature. And I think that the gardening analogy is so appropriate to creativity and to life in general. But I kind of like liken it to compost. You know, you put all these different scraps into compost, and then it just breaks down and you get this like black gold. And then you take that, you know, compost, and you put it in your garden, and then you grow different things. You grow vegetables, you grow flowers, you grow this, you grow that, whatever. And it's the same thing. I look at like all these different aspects, you know, like Dr. Clarissa Pinkola Estes and Jung and, you know, Indian tribal art and Connie Solera. And I'm just taking all these different things, nature, and I'm like putting it into my compost bin, and then I'm breaking it down, and now I'm like planting, you know, whatever comes out here, right? So I am moving towards more of an abstract way of working, where like, you know, before I wanted to explain everything, like, so let me explain. So see this part over here, like I want to retain it, right? And like say, you know, 6 months ago, whenever, I'd be like, oh, I want to turn it into like her hair or a crown or whatever. But now I'm just kind of moving into like, oh, okay, well, I just want to keep that part because I like it. And, you know, it doesn't have to be anything. Like it could just be, I like it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm trying to move towards it because I have a tendency to see, like, even now as I said it, I'm like, I'm trying to like put a form around it, and I'm kind of glad that happened that way, so I can explain what I mean. So do you see what I mean? I put that line over there, and I'm like, because I'm trying to turn it into something, but I'm working on this like, well, I want it there because I want it there. It doesn't have to be anything, right? So that's kind of where I'm trying to go, you guys. I'm not there yet. Okay, I am not there yet. But what I do want to do is I do want to kind of put some blue on the background. Not completely covered up, but I feel like I just want to just kind of like you know, shadow it, I guess. Just like bring a line. I'm just kind of feeling it. So I'm gonna bring this up closer in a minute here, but I really want, and I don't know if the camera can pick up on this, but I really would like for you to see what I mean when I say like the paints sit on top of the paper. Okay, so Do you see what I mean? Like the paints, they do not sink in. They sit on top. And then when it dries, it just makes it so vibrant. Like it's ridiculous, okay? Now what I want to do here is I want to put some orange, you guys. I'm feeling the orange. I'm just really feeling the orange here. And orange and blue, because they're complementary colors, they just zing. They really, really zing, like next to each other. So now, when this is dry, you guys, I can go in here with just a cheap ballpoint pen and I can just write over top of it in the white spaces, in the painted spaces. And if I use chalk paint, it just makes it that much easier to write on top of it. So this is a great way to work on cheap line composition notebook paper, and I am gonna do a part 2 to this, but I am also going to let this dry. When I work on cheap line composition notebook paper, generally what I'll do is I will work in increments because I want it to dry naturally. I don't want to use a heating tool and I don't want to muddy things up. And if it's like really hot like it is today, I'll go leave it outside and in 10 or 15 minutes it'll be completely dry. And it's a great way to work when you're working outside as well. But you know, just look at it, you guys. Just look at the juiciness. Do you see? It's just so juicy, you guys. Like juicy, juicy, juicy. Anyways, you guys, if you watched all the way to the end, thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.